Hello and welcome to Standpoint. Of course, today we are talking about local government autonomy. While the Supreme Court's landmark ruling affirming financial autonomy for Nigeria's local governments and condemning the dissolution of elected councils by state governors had elicited excitement, the conduct of local government elections across states may have dashed hopes of many who wished for genuine change. Despite the ruling, which disallows governors from appointing caretaker chairmen for local councils, outcomes across states have revealed entrenched practices and raised fresh calls for a national body to take over local government elections. This is Standpoint. I am Theophilus Ilama. Well, the July 11th Supreme Court judgment, which opened a 3-month window for states to organize elections or risk losing federal allocations for their local councils, led many states to schedule elections, as the rush even extended to Anambra State, which hadn't held local elections in more than 10 years. Some observers expressed a concern that leaving the state governments in charge of conducting elections would negate the purpose of the ruling, even though the apex court's ruling had sparked interest and hope in achieving democratic dividends at a local level through periodic elections. As a result, some stakeholders pushed for the dissolution of state electoral commissions and the empowerment of the Independent National Electoral Commission to assume responsibility for the administration of local elections. As debate continued, at least 15 states have conducted their local government elections with results that observers and analysts say reflect a predictable pattern. Ruling parties swept every council seat in nearly all cases. I have joining me in the studio two gentlemen who are stakeholders in the local politics of Nigeria. Joining me in the studio is Ayodele Adewale, and he is the immediate past chairman of Amuwo Odofin local government in Lagos State, while Mayowa Adeoye is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors, are also serving as the senior legislative aide for Shomolu Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Good afternoon.
All right, so we're talking about the local government elections, and of course we have seen situations where state governors, where the elections are held in different local governments, and the ruling party sweeps the elections, sweeps the win in the local government elections. Let me start with Ayo. In this case, is it a case of the ruling party using its might to win elections in local councils?
I wouldn't say so. I would say, well, it showcases the popularity of the party within that area.
Okay.
And of course, the will and caprices of the people in most cases.
Mm-hmm. Wow. The popularity of the party in that area, are you saying that other parties are not as popular?
Other party might be popular,
okay,
right? But again, the ruling party have only shown their entrenchment within that system. And definitely people have come out to cast their votes. And if people feel otherwise, it is encouraged that they follow the rules and put forward their petition and bring forth very good evidence in order to prove their case, if it goes otherwise.
Okay. All right, let's go to Mr. Mayowa Adeoye on this matter. Do you share the same sentiment?
Yes, I would say almost the same thing you have said. Because I could remember some time ago in my local government, during the election, in a particular ward, there was another party who won in that ward as a councillor. And he performed very well, even with our own people. You understand? So I would say it depends on how popular you are. And, you know, the ruling party, especially in Lagos, I can only speak for Lagos State, they make use of the best. And they also do what I can refer to as political poaching. Okay. Even if you are from another party, you're good, you're popular, your people like you. They look for a way to draw you closer. They give you an enabling environment for you to excel, in political community. So bringing you together, they bring you in, they invite you, they give you that enabling environment, and you feel free joining the party. So that's why you see them, in recent times you see that they clear everywhere. They know what they're doing. When you're popular, you're with them. So it's a game.
Okay, when you're popular, you're with them. But do opposition parties have a fair chance in all of this?
Looking
at the fact that state governors of the ruling party always ensures that the local government they win the elections in the local government. Do opposition party really have a fair chance?
They have. I just spoke about one. That in my local government, PDP won in a ward.
That's just
it has to say, no, you can say just one. It speaks about the performance of the state government. If your state governor is not performing, it will go down to the grassroots, and people will vote against you.
Okay.
You understand? It's always been very fair. It's always been very fair. And if you're popular, if you're from another party, you win. Have you forgotten in Motion, there was this Honorable Kako? Mm-hmm. He won in Lagos State. You understand? If you're popular, you're popular. So if you see that the popularity and the fact that you're good in that community, we can draw you closer. We'll bring you in because we want the best. Okay. That's why you see them clearing. So, and APC is performing very well. They're envying us. So it shows how good we are.
Okay. Okay. So you were a local government chairman at a point at Amuwo Odofin, at a point the youngest local government chairman in Lagos history. And do local governments have the wherewithal to ensure developments in their local governments?
Of course they do. I was the youngest in my time, not in Lagos history.
Yeah.
If you look at the history of Lagos, there have been younger people that have come, pre-independence and all of that. But again, every local government has its own peculiarity, and there's nobody stopping anyone, from performing. It all depends on the program you have and the focus that you are hinged on, and the ability to generate both capital resource and, of course, human resource in order to push your program forward, and your ability to also communicate with people within your jurisdiction in order to get their buy-in, to doing what you ought to do. Nobody has stopped the local government helmsman from thinking out of the box or even working internationally. I remember while I was there in 2008, 2014, we did have programs with the U.S. Consulate and the British Deputy High Commissioner's Office, to the extent that the consular, then Hawkins, do visit the local government intermittently, and we relate on programs. During the U.S. Independence Day, the U.S. Marines will visit Nigeria. We will do medical outreach at the riverine communities and all. And I had the opportunity of also going there and engaging in sister city programs. And for the UK High Commission Office, through Mr. Peter Carter and Mrs. Valeria Godo, who was then a member of the British UKTI then, they took us to UK. We discussed with over 40 investors and all of that. We did a lot of training, even PPP master training with them, to improve on our capacity and all. And working with Alpha Beta, we were able to improve on our revenue, because when I came in 2008, October that year, the revenue was 30,000 naira. Okay. But when I was leaving, October same year, in 2014, I left a revenue of over 23 million naira per month, right? So working with Alpha Beta, working with Heged, working with the community, we were able to improve on our revenue in order to, carry out more functions.
Looking at all you have said, and of course, there are times that I have been to Amuwo Odofin when you were local government chairman, and I understand all you've said, but after that, in recent times or so, some local government chairmen will always say, no revenue, there's no revenue, they don't know how to. Is it about creativity?
Anybody that tell you that is only lying. there's revenue.
Are you saying that with authority?
I'm telling you authoritatively,
Okay.
right? I've been there, and I'm still within the corridor of power. So there's revenue, right? It depends on how you apply your revenue to improve your development, right? And I will leave it at that. And like I said, you must also be able to work with human capital. When I was in government, when I came October 2008, I met one doctor for the whole local government. And I reached out to the NYSC and discussed with them. So intermittently, they will send more doctors in addition to other disciplines within the core member stream and all of that. Then I also work with the military, the Nigerian Army, barracks or JAW, right? They also have intern. They send their medical intern in. And I also work with the retirees. So while I was leaving, I left 63 doctors, medical doctors, that were working in shifts on payroll. And we also use PPP to work with Sun Lab and L Lab. We brought medical laboratory facility to the local government because a doctor cannot fully diagnose without having recourse to the medical lab. And we also work with Profit Pharmaceutical to give free drugs. So we gave people free drugs from 0 to 16 and 60 and above, and delivery was free. We also gave them delivery kits. We deliver over 3,000 babies, right? And we render services everywhere. So you can't tell me that there are no capital within the local government. Remember, you get federal allocation. In Lagos State, nobody touch your federal allocation, right? You also have the ability to generate revenue. So putting these streams of revenue together, you have enough funds. And we also work on infrastructure, right? We built several roads. We almost went on 0 potholes, right? I made 20 schools that were in a very worrisome condition. We rehabilitated the whole 20. We built more. We put in place 2 cleaners and 1 gardener. So there was no need for any people to go to school and sweep, right? We produced notebooks like Jaconde did. We produced school uniforms. We gave free jam form, right? 600 jam form, 500 jam form, 600 GCE forms, and we worked with the NUT for 6 years. It
was done with the internally generated revenue.
And it was for free. It was for free. And if you doubt me, go to YouTube, type Comrade Ayodele Adewale Positive Impact. You see a documentary that was put together by Dejibade Mosi, the CNN award-winning journalist, right? And it showcases 2 years, the first 2 years of our administration, showing to you what we were able to do.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Adeoye, in all of this now, the local governments truly have, yes, the government has ensured local government autonomy, but do we truly have autonomy in the real sense? Financial autonomy, political autonomy, in every sense of the word?
Well, I would say we're moving towards that area. If there was financial autonomy, there won't be any need for this recent judgment. You understand? It needs to go across the whole 26 states and the FCT. We're getting to very close to that area, that time when the local governments will be more independent and be free, to perform extraordinarily well because they are the closest, government to the people. And if you don't give them that opportunity to excel, to perform, to reach out to people, they won't smell or perceive growth. So if you want them to perceive growth and development, there is need for you to give them that freedom. Freedom to...
Do we see that happening?
Yes. Yes. It's already happening in Lagos.
I'm not talking about Lagos alone itself. All around the 36 states.
Here in Lagos, we started since 2003,
trying
to bring government very close to the people. You understand? It has yielded more than 100% positive results. You can see what is happening in Lagos. Other states are looking, towards Lagos. They want to be like, they are even praying, let Lagos happen to us. It's because we have visionary leaders. Now a local government, you can see what's happening under Ayodele local government. You know what's happening? It's SCDA. You can see what it's doing there. That is a project that a state government can do in other states. and bring in the world the journalists to come and see. That's what the local government is doing. We're moving closer to that phase in which we have a very big competition coming in. That even the Lagos state, the state governments, let me just generalize, the state government will have to sit right, you understand, and up their game.
What will lead us to that point?
That is what we are seeing now. This financial autonomy is taking us there. Okay. I can see it happening. It's just like a father in a family. If you have a business, you have money coming in, you'll be free to say, okay, I'm taking my child to this school, I'm doing this in my family, I'm doing it, I will need a car, I will do this. But if the money is not coming directly to you, you won't be able to decide. Even if you have an idea, the idea will die in you. So that financial autonomy will enable them, especially the chairman. They are elected chairman. You can't say they can't perform. Who are you to even say they can't perform? Mm. If they have been voted for by their people, you allow them to perform that responsibility. Give them funds to do whatever is needed to be done. Then if they don't do it right, or if there is financial mismanagement, then we have EFCC there, we have ICPC that will come in and do it. Not, you can't say local government cannot perform or they don't have the capability. They have. They have, 100% sure of that. And by the time we start fully, you will see what will happen. The state governments will run. Yes.
You want to add something there?
Well, my add-on is that the local government have enormous capacities. And if these capacities are allowed to flourish, the federal government will have little or less things to do. Likewise, the state government. Because the local government governance structure is the closest to the people. And in most developed climes, it is the mayor that they know. Yeah. They hardly know who is heading the province or who is heading the federal, right? People are closest to their mayors, and they hold their mayors accountable. And you see municipalities, local government, even owning airports, right? Some of them own seaports, right? And they do a lot. They have their police structure, and they have so many things working for them, right? And they create more of employment and opportunities. So I feel that Nigeria also have the same capacity. I mean, if you look at pre-independence, you see what local governments were able to do, especially the Lagos Island municipality and all of that. And many of them across the country, they were doing a lot, right? Even post-independence, they were doing so many things. So it can still happen.
How can how can local government effectively manage their finances and resources without state interference?
Everything already is in the book, is in the Constitution, okay, right? And you also have some in the administrative guidelines that was put together by the state houses of assembly. You must also remember that the Nigerian Constitution gives leverage to state houses of assembly, the state government, to create local government and to set rules and regulations for them. So everything is already written. There is no problem in it. Let people just key into the rules and regulation. The rule of law is supreme, and it will guide everybody aright.
Are the current constitutional provisions in the Constitution sufficient to guarantee local government autonomy?
Yes. Yes. How do you say someone is independent when he's not free to do certain things? You understand? The local government is very good, is very ready, and we have capable hands, especially the one I know of, okay, very close to me. They have the capability to perform very well. The Constitution is very clear about it. The Constitution is very clear about it, how to go about the administration, what to do, how you not, interfere into the state activities or their own, what they're supposed to do, how you will not interfere with the state and that of federal. You have what to do, that's been spelled out. Just follow suit, and you have promises. You know, you must have campaigned to your people. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going in line with the Constitution. And if you perform very well, you'll be returned. If you don't perform, it's just a 4-year thing or a 3-year thing. So it's spelled out in the Constitution. If a state can perform with a governor at the end of an affair, then others can perform as well. You understand? Because you are representing people, and you also do something that would make your people happy.
All right, so some years ago, governors were against local government autonomy. Now it has come to fruition. What's the role of the people in ensuring that local government are held to account?
You know the beauty of this? The beauty is that there is no, how do I put it? A chairman can be sued, can be taken to court, you can write a petition. A chairman can stand before a judge or a court of law. You know, you can actually do anything with them. This is the best time for us to get it right. If the local governments are performing very well, you know, they're up and doing, the load on the state governments would reduce drastically. They won't have more headache. They will be able to focus more on their own activities already entrenched in the Constitution. You understand? Even going into dipping eyes into the local government's thing, it's just like giving the state governors, they already have enough. They already have enough. When the local governments, when they perform very well, the state governors will be happy. You know, they will even relax and be able to do extraordinary things. We want our nation, you know, to compete with the first countries, with the first nations over there, with the UK, with like US, with Canada. You know, there is nothing they are doing, you know, differently. It's just that's okay. Everything is spelled out. Everyone is performing its duties without interference. You understand? As a local government, as a mayor, you're performing your duties without anyone interfering, and it is what you do that people will judge you with. Not that, okay, a chairman is doing this and someone will say, no, it's the state governor that is saying he should do it, or that the state governor that is controlling. No. Whatever you do, it is in your name. So it will allow or enable the governor to also perform and focus on their own responsibilities.
So now the focus or the success of a ruling party is now dependent on the local government.
Yes, if whatever you are doing is not getting down to the people. Prior to the creation of the LCDs in Lagos, I know what Lagos was. I know some areas that, you know, even if we talk of like in the next 30 years or 40 years, maybe government may not even get closer to that area. I'm talking of like, if you go to like Akoka, we have the Agoigun side, the larger side. You know, before that 2003, 2004, you know, before a chairman can go down there, you know, you must have looked at the, you know, the developed areas, the areas you walk through, you drive through, you pass by, before you think of going into that area. But now, because of that division, the LCDAs too have been able to take governors down to the people. They have been able to take dividend of democracy down to the people. People are happy. You understand? You can't even say you want to scrap the LCDAs. I don't think it's possible. It's not possible in the sense that people are enjoying it. Right. We're enjoying the development. You know?
Okay. We have a lot to discuss on this development, but we'll have to take a quick break. And when we return, we'll be talking about the local government elections on Standpoint. Stay tuned.